The church cares, and so does the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. Hi, I'm Anne DeSantis, Executive Director. In 2015, the Mercedarian Friars came together because they wanted to start a foundation to help families in crisis. And that's exactly what we've been doing over these years. Whether it be something to do with divorce, separation, trauma, job loss, loss of a loved one, or other adversities, we've helped so many families get through those tough times through the spiritual works of mercy. We'd love to hear from you. Please do get in touch with us for our services. They are prayer, priestly consultation, podcasts and videos, and programs and events. We look forward to hearing from you. Just go to nonatus.org and get in touch with me. I look forward to hearing from you. God bless.
Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry present Journeys in Faith. Now, here's Anne DeSantis.
Good evening. Welcome to Journeys in Faith here on Fiat Ministry Network. This is Anne DeSantis. It's great to be here. I keep letting all of you know that it's an exciting thing for me and for all of us with Fiat Ministry Network, Patchwork Heart Ministry, and the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation that we're in our third season of this program where on a weekly basis, I interview people of faith, authors, speakers, people who are really doing great work for the Catholic Church. This episode is actually devoted to the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation, where I serve as Executive Director. And I'm very happy to say I've been with the foundation for the last 5 years and so blessed and honored to serve, to be in this Mercedarian ministry, because our foundation, the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation, was founded through a religious order. And a lot of you already know that because you've been following our foundation. We were founded by the Mercedarians, and the charism of the Mercedarians is their fourth vow, which is their willingness to give their lives for those in danger of losing their faith. And, you know, that's what we do too here at the foundation when we offer pastoral care for families in crisis. And I've done different shows before where I've talked to you about our charism and what we've done so far since we came into existence. But I don't think we can ever repeat that story enough, as every time we do a program, every time we do a podcast or a video, there's always somebody who does not know anything about us. So we want to make sure that we educate you, let you know, to help you learn more about the services that we provide. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey, which I've done before. But as I said, I think it's a great idea to kind of just reiterate where we've been and where we're going. And so back in 2015, the Mercedarian Friars, the religious order, they came together because they decided that they wanted to start a foundation. It was right at that time when our Holy Father, Pope Francis, came to the United States, and he stopped in Philadelphia for what was called the World Meeting of Families. And some of you who are watching this, you're very familiar with the World Meeting. It's hard to believe that that was already 7 years ago. As I'm taping this show, it's October of 2022. So right around 7 years ago, back in September of that year, it was an exciting time. You know, my family and I, we went to Center City, Philadelphia. We were able to partake in the Mass with Pope Francis, with actually, I think it was like 1 million people that came. And, you know, that whole entire time that he was here and the time that was dedicated for the World Meeting was all about families. And so it was really on the Mercedarian Friars' heart that they wanted to do something in response. And so they really prayed about it. They prayed hard about what can we do as a religious order to help those families that are going through trauma, to help those families affected by sin, to help those families who are headed for a breakup or some other issues. And so actually they came together and they voted on what exactly are the areas that we should tackle. And so it came down to two areas that they were thinking about doing. One of them was human trafficking, which is obviously a major, major problem, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. And people who are, affected by this horrific happening, it's happening everywhere. And it's affecting families, young people, and it's just a really terrible, terrible, traumatizing area that needs to be focused on. So they prayed on, is this what we should be doing? Is it human trafficking? Or should we expand it out a little bit more to families in crisis? Now, who are families in crisis, right? They could be people that look just like you and I, who might seem like everything is normal at home, but there's things that are happening at home that aren't so good. Might be that they're headed for a divorce, a separation. It could be a relationship issue. It could be dealing with a psychological trauma or an emotional issue in someone's life. It could be something that's outside of their own family life. It could be something with a brother, a sister, a mother-in-law, a father, father-in-law, even a neighbor. Sometimes we see things that our neighbors are going through, and it's a concern for us in ways that how can we help people in our own neighborhoods that are really suffering from traumas and tragedies. It could also be something to do with a health crisis or a job loss. So with all of those things in mind, when you think of the word crisis or adversity, of course, I think probably we all think of different areas of adversity. And it was the same with the Mercedarian friars. So they made a vote and they made a decision about exactly which areas they would focus on. And instead of going with human trafficking, which obviously still is a very worthwhile effort, and there's other nonprofits, Catholic nonprofits that are involved in that they decided that they wanted to go in the direction of families in crisis. And so that's really exactly what they did. So they formed an 8-person board back in 2015. And for the first 2 years of existence, there was really no ministry yet. There was a lot of prayer, a lot of organizational efforts. The foundation became a Catholic 501c3, which is approved also and in the Catholic directory through the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. It's not an easy thing to get all those things in order, those ducks in a row, but I handed over to our Mercedarian friars that before I became part of the foundation, they did everything that they should to make sure that we were following all the rules and the regulations of what a Catholic nonprofit should be. And then the next thing that they did was they made a decision about which areas of ministry they wanted to follow. And when they were at the World Meeting of Families, they met someone there. They heard a talk by Rose Sweet, and make a shout out to her. She's a Catholic author and speaker. She's also formally on our board of directors. She was our vice president for a while. She did retire actually a little more than a year ago. But the gift of her time was really so grateful to us. She helped us in so many ways with our website and with development of who we are in a marketing sense too. And so we focused a lot on helping divorced and separated Catholics. What we started out by doing was online support meetings, which were beautiful and wonderful. And then I was hired. I was hired in September of 2017. I can't believe it's been 5 years already, and it's been wonderful. And I'm looking forward to a lot more years ahead with the foundation. And so what I did when I started with the foundation was we were doing those online support meetings for divorced and separated Catholics and also adult children of divorce, which is a beautiful thing. We helped a lot of people. But what we found after a certain amount of time was that not many people wanted to share in a group setting online their most deepest kind of thoughts, secrets, things that they struggle, areas that they struggle in. So we kind of prayed about, well, what can we do in order to continue to still help people? Because we are, for the most part, not 100%, but we are an online ministry. And so we decided to do something different. So we pulled away from those online support meetings. And what we decided to do were to do podcasts where they were interactive podcasts on YouTube where people can make questions and reach out to us with emails and things like that, and really just still be connected. And so that's exactly what we did. We've been doing podcasting now since beyond and before 2018. And those podcasts are for families in crisis and also those affected by divorce and separation. So if you're interested and you're watching this podcast and thinking, you know, I'd love to hear one of those podcasts. I know someone who's going through a divorce or a tragedy of some kind, or even an adult child of divorce, is just simply go to YouTube and look up Billy Nonatus. That is our YouTube channel. Our website is nonatus.org, which you probably might see here on the screen. So if you go to those two places, you'll be able to connect with us about those podcasts. So just to give you a little bit more history is that I became the director of the St. Raymond and Nonnatus Foundation in 2018. And then just over this last year, I'm now the executive director. So as I said, I mean, it's just an honor for me to have been able to help so many people now that we've been in existence for so many years in active ministry, like, you know, every day pretty much, is that we've been able to help hundreds of families and individuals, not just families affected by divorce and separation, but as I said, those people who are families in crisis in all different ways. Now, the way that we do that is through our charism. We offer what we call the 4 Ps, and they would be prayer, ongoing prayer through our Mercedarian Friars and through our foundation, podcasts and videos, which I just talked to you about, programs and events, which we're going to really unpack during this show, even in-person events, and priestly consultation. So that's a really big part about what we offer, is that we offer a free pastoral consultation with a Mercedarian friar to discuss whatever those areas you have, whatever they are. And all of this is guided by the Catholic Church. If you or someone you know would like to make an appointment, all you need to do is go to our website again on the contact form there at nonatus.org. That's NONNATUS.org, and just send us that contact. There is a priestly consultation drop down too, which you can send it directly through that portal too. Now, part of the reason why I wanted to do this show and dedicate it to the St. Raymond and Nonnatus Foundation is that we are doing some real special events this fall. Now, I'm taping this in October of 2022, and I'm really happy that we have 3 events that I'd like to talk to you about. Now, that first event, which I'll talk to you before we go to our commercial break, is something that's coming up very soon, and it's in the greater Philadelphia area. At the National Shrine of St. Rita, we are doing a day retreat for families affected by health crisis. Now, is that you? Do you or someone you know have some type of either physical or even emotional, mental disability, something that has kept you from feeling the joy of life? And if so, that is for you or someone that you know. The St. Rita Shrine is located on Broad Street in South Philadelphia, in the heart of South Philadelphia. I will be there. The president of the St. Raymond and Nonnatus Foundation, our board president, Mickey Kelly, will be there too. And it's being led by the Augustinian Friars. They are the ones that run the National Shrine of St. Rita. And so during that day, on October 29th, 2022, it's a Saturday, it starts at 11:30 a.m. and we will be having lunch. And after the lunch, we will be doing talks, a tour, time for reflection, open discussion, prayer. There will also be at 4 p.m. the anointing with the oil of St. Rita. And it's not the anointing of the sick, but it's specifically the oil of St. Rita. So you would be invited to be a part of that too. There's also a 5 p.m. Mass, which is the anticipated Mass for Sunday. You know, we did a retreat back in July and I was there too. It was also for families in crisis. And it was really beautiful. And the fact that I got to stay for Mass and have some fellowship time with the people that were on the retreat with us that day, you know, it was just a really wonderful thing. So I just encourage you, if you're watching this video right now, can I ask you to please share this with your church, your diocese, or your archdiocese, especially if you live in the greater Philadelphia area. because this retreat is really open to people throughout our Archdiocese of Philadelphia. And, it's close enough to the Camden Diocese, which is right over the bridge into New Jersey. So it would be a wonderful day for you to come out. If you've never been to the National Shrine of St. Rita, it's really beautiful. The parking there is on-street parking. There's also some area parking lots. And it's very accessible to public transportation too. If you have any questions about this, it is on our website at nonatus.org. So just go there, and if you go to the drop down that says for programs and events, all you need to do is click there and you'll see the invitation for this beautiful retreat. And I can't wait. And when this show is being aired, it's actually going to be the following Saturday. So you do have to act quickly. Now you can pay the day of for this retreat too. You don't have to pay in advance. You can bring your $25, either cash or check, whatever you like to do. But to sign up for this retreat, you just go to stritashrine.org. Again, the retreat is on Saturday, October 29th at 11:30 a.m. So please do join us. Now, before we take our commercial break for this show, I do want to mention one more thing, and this really is an outreach to anybody watching this, even if you're not in the greater Philadelphia area, is that the St. Raymond Nonatus Foundation is really excited because we are now offering spiritual direction. And what is spiritual direction? That is when you get together with either a priest or someone who has a background in spiritual direction, someone who knows what they're doing, and you get to share your faith story, and you can be guided along the path of your spiritual life. Now, it is not a counseling session or therapy or psychotherapy. It's nothing like that at all. It's really centered on your spirituality. Now, I've been doing spiritual direction for many years, and I can't say how much it's helped me as a person in growth. So if you're watching this video right now and you're thinking, that's for me. Now, I have some great news for you. We are offering this both in person, and we are offering also online. If you live in the Philadelphia area, you can go to Our Lady of Lourdes Parish, and you can make an appointment with Father Justin Freeman, where you can visit with him at the parish or possibly in the rectory or the church. And everything that we do as a nonprofit is free. So you don't have to worry about any type of payments or donations. I mean, we are a nonprofit, so you can make a donation if you want to, but you don't have to. So please do go to the drop down under pastoral consultation. You'll see another little drop down there for spiritual direction. So we do look forward to hearing from you there. We're also offering it in the Columbus, Ohio area with Father Joseph Eddy. So you can, if you live in the Columbus area, or if you live in Cleveland, Ohio area, there's Mercedarian friars that could be available to do in-person spiritual direction with you too. But there's great news, very good news, is that it doesn't matter where you live, because we're doing this as an online thing too. So going to that same exact place at nonatus.org, you can make your free spiritual direction appointment, which is usually, most of the time, it's either every month or bi-monthly, whatever kind of works for your schedule. You can work that out with our Mercedarian friars. So we're really looking forward to that. Now, I do have to take a short break. So stay tuned, because I'd like to tell you about 2 more special events that are happening with the St. Raymond Nonatus Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. Thank you so much for joining us here on Journeys in Faith. It's Anne DeSantis, And the show tonight is devoted to the St. Raymond Onotis Foundation, where I serve as the executive director, and the great work that we're doing in the fall and the winter of 2022. Now, you might be watching this video long after it's been produced, but the news that I have for you is that it doesn't really matter because our events are always ongoing. And one of the events that I'm going to talk to you about today actually will be available in perpetuity, meaning that it will be online, something that you can watch even after it's been aired as a premiere. So it really doesn't matter in that regard. So let me tell you about the two other events. Now, I did tell you already at the beginning of the show about our Families in Crisis retreat on Saturday, October 29th at the National Shrine of St. Rita. We have another in-person Families in Crisis retreat. I'm super excited about this one. It's called our Advent Reflections Retreat. And this is at the Dalesford Abbey in Paoli, PA. And this is with another religious order. This is with the Norbertines. Now, if you've never been to the Dalesford Abbey, if you live in the greater Philadelphia area, you might have heard of the Abbey Fest. It's a great big Christian Catholic music fest that happens usually in September of every year for the last several years. Well, it's on the same property there is that where we're having our retreat. Now, of course, our retreat's much smaller than the Dalesford Abbey Abbey Fest. This is an Advent Reflection Retreat, and it's actually going to be held inside the Abbey for individuals and families who are affected by some kind of crisis, whatever that may be, whether it's divorce, separation, health crisis, job loss, loss of a loved one, traumas or tribulations that you or your family have been through. And this is being held on Friday, November 25th. That is the day after Thanksgiving. Yes, it is. But it's happening late morning, so you have time to sleep in. And it is on what we consider Black Friday. Now, the cost of this retreat is just $35. It includes lunch. And during this retreat, there will be time for reflection, confessions. There will be mass, talks. There will be a tour, a little bit of a tour. And so it'll be just an honor to be with you that day. I will be there, and I believe the board president of our foundation, Mickey Kelly, will be there too. Really excited about this one because it will be right at that beginning of the Advent season. The next day, which is the Sunday right after Thanksgiving, is the start of the Advent season. And so we're actually, we could say the Saturday evening before, right? So it'll just be beautiful to be able to celebrate with you for those who live in the area. Now, it's not that hard to get to the Dalesford Abbey too. It is in the suburbs outside of the city. You can get there from 476, which is what we consider the Blue Route. Please do go on our website because we have a page there that's dedicated to our Advent Reflections Retreat. All you need to do is go to programs and events on our website, and you'll see a little drop down there. Now, you can register for this one in advance. In fact, we would prefer that. You can pay online. If you do wish to pay at the door, you can do that too. Again, it's $35 and includes the lunch and the entire day. And I should also mention that at the very end of the day, there's also an opportunity to pray Vespers with the Norbertine Friars, and that would be at 4:30 p.m. So people are welcome to stay for that. Although if you want to rush off to dinner and be with your family toward the end of the day, that's great too. You know, everything that we do is geared for those individuals and families in crisis. We try to make our retreats and our events affordable. So I think you'll really love this one. And may I ask again that if you see this video and you're watching and thinking, wow, that's awesome. I would love for someone I know to go to that retreat. Please share this on social media. We would love it. And connect with us on social media too. We're at the St. Raymond Onotis Foundation, both on Facebook, Instagram, and on LinkedIn, and even on Twitter too. And as I always mention, our website. Now I want to talk to you about the in-person event that we have. Excuse me, not the in-person, the virtual event that we have happening. It's on December 6th, 7th, and 8th. And that is our Eucharistic Summit. You know, this is a time right now where there's a reinvesting and educating people to really understand the Holy Eucharist, the beauty of the Eucharist. You know, the Eucharist is the source and the summit of our faith. You know, there's nothing like the sacramental life when you're a Catholic, because to be quite honest with you, that's the most important part of who we are as Catholics, those sacraments, those 7 sacraments. But at the height of all of those sacraments is the Eucharist. And for our mission as a Catholic nonprofit that helps families in crisis, the Eucharist being the source and summit of our faith, it's really an honor to be able to present this online, meaning that anybody can go, right, all over the place, can attend this conference. It's going to be on vimeo.com, but we do suggest that you register for our Eucharistic Summit, and that will be by going to nonatus.org. Once again, you go to the programs and events page, and then there's a drop down for the Eucharistic Summit. Now, the time is December 6th, the date is November 6th, 7th, and 8th, and starting at 6 p.m. every night. We're going to have over 20 Catholic authors and speakers that'll be giving presentations on the beauty and their love of the Eucharist. But it's all geared for people like you, especially if you're one of our followers, if you are a family or individual going through some type of a trauma, a family trauma. And so it's geared for you. It's also a video that you can share, videos you can share with those family members that you might have who are people who are away from their Catholic faith. So I would just highly recommend for you to register. Go to nonatus.org. Now, the great news is this. If you cannot make it to actually watch these as they're live, although we do really highly recommend that, at least if you register, you'll be getting all of the updates. And even if you miss an evening, one of the evenings, you'll be getting that video sent to you in your inbox later on so that you can watch it at your convenience. So it really doesn't matter. It's a win-win and it's free, right? So that's a big thing too. I just want to mention one of our speakers, which I think is very special. And we're really honored that we have Bishop William Byrne of the Diocese of Springfield, Massachusetts. You know, to get a bishop to be a part of something like this is a very big deal for us. We're very honored to have Bishop Byrne to be able to present. So please do make sure you sign up. Keep an eye out there. I would just ask you too, could you let your churches, your diocese, your archdiocese know about our summit? Because it's also a way that we are able to serve the church and to grow as a foundation. You know, when we do these events, it enables us to reach more people. And to be honest, I mean, that's part of what it's all about for us to be able to grow. We're very grateful to people like you who help us to grow. And the ways that we grow are through your prayers. That's probably the primary way that you help us. I would say if you do nothing at all, please pray for our foundation. There's 2 other ways that you can help us though. The second way is that you can share. All you need to do is click the share button on your social media or send an email blast to your friends. That is another way. And another way is, you know, because we are a Catholic nonprofit 501c3, the way that we continue to exist is through your donations. You can either do a one-time donation or a recurring. We have people who give us like recurring donations every month, whether it be $25 or $50 or whatever they decide. We're so grateful to you because it helps us to help others. It helps us to be part of that field hospital, as our Holy Father has said so often, that the church is a field hospital, and we really want to be at the heart of that. So thank you so much for all that you do. Connect with us at nonatus.org. And I just also want to ask you and thank you that you're tuning into this program too. I cannot end this video without thanking our friends at Patchwork Heart Ministry, which help to produce and share our podcast, and our beautiful and wonderful friends at Fiat Ministry Network, which you might very well be watching this video right on Fiat Ministry Network. That would be Kent Kolhosky and Jennifer Sinclair. Jennifer does all of our video editing. We're so grateful to her for her hard work, and for my good friend Bill Snyder with Patchwork Heart Ministry, who's also my podcast host for the Sowing Hope podcast. If you haven't watched that yet, please do check it out. It's on the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation Facebook page and also at patchworkheart.org. There's a lot of great things happening at Patchwork Heart Ministry too. So keep an eye, because they're doing a special documentary on the Man of the Shroud, which is the Shroud of Turin. So keep an eye. You're going to hear a lot more from us about that. We thank Bill and Kent and Jennifer, and thank all of you most of all. So please do, thank you for your prayers. Please do pray, continue to pray. That's what I was going to say. Continue to pray for us. And we are so happy and excited that you're part of our ministry through your prayers and through your outreach. God bless. We'll see you next week here on Journeys in Faith.
Journeys of Faith is a production of Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry. For more information about Journeys of Faith, email info@fiatministrynetwork.tv. And be sure to friend, follow, and like us on social media. Just search Journeys in Faith with Anne DeSantis.